Coach Frank Martin. I want him to start with a brief opening statement. Please use your hand. I'll call on you for questions.
Just, you know, it's, after the other night, I don't know what the word to use is, we weren't spiritless, but our feelings were hurt. And that's how we started the game today. But these kids, I keep telling you guys, they're a whole lot of fun to be around. And the schedule, the way the schedule breaks, and this is not complaining, it's just life. We all deal with it. Every team's going to deal with this eventually. But you know, we had 3 games in the first 7 days. We played Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. Bang, bang, bang. Saturday being at Rhodey, and then turn around and we got to go play Wednesday night in a different time zone and get all the way back here. And they were fortunate. I mean, I was in the Big 12. I get it. Big Monday. That's what happens. But if you go through in the Big 12 and you look at Kansas, they play for the right reasons on Big Monday almost every single week. They rarely lose on Saturday. And because you can manage the week while everybody else is playing on Wednesday. And, you know, I was worried about that because I knew our feelings would be hurt. And there's only one way to get out of your feelings, and that's to practice with your teammates and get back in the right spirit. And we didn't have quite enough time, but these guys they're awesome, man. They're fun to be around. They care, and really proud of them that we figured out a way to regain our spirit halfway through the first half, and then obviously just continue to fight to the end of the game.
Can you just talk about the night Rasul taking that?
I'm ecstatic for him, man. You know, like in life, you don't when you don't put in the time. I spoke to our players about this when we got back from Loyola. There's a rite of passage to be good. That's not passed out. It's not like going to 7-Eleven and buying lottery tickets and trying to hit the lottery. There's a rite of passage that you go through to be good. And that rite of passage is the same for everybody. Some people get the break earlier than others. But the bottom line is, if you don't put in the time, there's a dead-end street. And then it becomes easy to blame. He's put in the time. But now in the rite of passage that I spoke to our team about, your mettle gets challenged to see if you're really, really committed to growth and being good. So you deal with failure. And some people, when they deal with failure, they pick something else to do. And he's put in unbelievable more time. You can argue him and Jaden probably has spent more time on their own in that gym working on being a good player than the rest of the team combined. That's how much time those guys are in there for. And unfortunately, we go to Dayton, his ball don't go in. We go to Loyola, and the game's on the line, and he has a wide open lick. Ball don't go in. And I felt for him. But that's why I spoke to him about that, because he's committed himself to being good, and being good is a long, long, hard journey. It's not let me work today and I have success tomorrow, so I'll work the next day. Well, but if I fail, I'm going to do something else. He's learning, he's growing, and if you were paying it, I know you guys were paying attention. That's a kind of bad question by me. But early in the second half, he made one. And I came down the court and ran a play for him right away on purpose to make sure he can let it go again. And that one went in too. And then his whole demeanor, if you're paying attention to him, his whole demeanor defensively, it completely changed. I'm happy he was rewarded.
Coach, you had 5 players in double digits, 17 points off the bench, all 17 of those coming from Jalen Curry. Cohen having a double-double. What really did you expect from the team, especially coming off of that very tough Loyola loss and having 5 players in double-digit scoring?
Yeah, it's how we play. You know, when you make jump shots, then you have balance and your assist goes up. There's 2 ways to play basketball. The modern way, which I get sick of watching, which is one guy with the ball and everyone stands around and go ball screen for him. And then guys make corner threes and one guy has points and assist. I can't stand watching that basketball. Call me old-fashioned, call me boring, whatever it is. It's who I am. I like team basketball offensively. And I like bodies moving and I like the ball moving. So when you play that way, different players make decisions with the basketball. That takes time. That creates structure. Young guys don't comprehend structure because most high school teams in AAU basketball, they don't practice like they used to. So all they know is give your best player. It's like 9 and under ball. You ever go watch 9 and under basketball? They give the best player the ball and everyone gets out of the way and they let him shoot every ball. Well, that's kind of, usually things trickle down. That's trickled up in our game. And I don't like that. So I like coaching. I like teaching. If my players aren't growing, I get bored. If I'm bored, I need to go do something else. And they're learning. They're learning how to do that. And when the ball goes in the basket, then the assists go up and different people score. I believe that it's really hard to defend a team where bodies move and the ball moves. Those guys are really hard to defend. If I know where the ball's at every time, that don't mean that we win that day, but it makes my job a lot easier defensively. But, you know, it's, and I don't criticize people. Everyone has to coach how they believe to win the game. I'm not one of these that I try to put everyone in the same box. Everyone has to do things their way. This is how I like to play, and this team's trying to figure it out.
Well, you touched on team basketball. You had 22 of your 31 points coming from 3 different guys.
Yeah.
What does that say about the depth of this team?
I work hard. I should say because all I do is get credit for wins and blame for losses, and I accept that when I take head coaching jobs. It's a collective effort with our staff and our players. It's what we teach, it's what we coach. It's the balance that I believe in. It's the growth, trusting players. You know, it's easy to bring in a freshman that's really, really talented, that's really, really stubborn. Like I tell Jay Curry all the time, I said, Jay Curry, I know you're stubborn. I know you're competitive. I've been watching you play since you're in 9th grade. Your uncle played for me. I said, I told you when I recruited you, I'm stubborn too. And there's a way that we're going to play, and I need you to understand that. And until you and I don't get on that same page, you're not going to be happy with me half the time. And I'm not going to be happy with you half the time. But you know what we're not going to do? We're not going to run away from each other. We're going to figure this one out. And he continues to battle and grow. And now you're starting to understand, watch him play with the confidence that he has, understanding structure basketball, not just give me the ball, let me do my thing. And, you know, but it's what we preach that as a staff, player development. I can't recruit you and then bring you here and say, don't shoot. You know what I mean? I can't, like, really? Like, what'd you recruit me for? Like, my job's to help you grow. And in growth, there's pain. There's pain for the individual and there's pain for the people around them because they make mistakes. And you know, that's part of the journey. It's you stay in people's corner. You don't run from them.
So, Razul and Curry just came in here and said that at halftime you just preached defense. But after coming off the half where you shot 2 of 17 from 3, is that just trust going into the second half that your offense will figure it out and get going?
Yeah, for the last 2 days, I've told our team we're averaging 80 points a game. I can't remember me. I've been this year 40 for me on the sideline. I'm one of those dinosaurs that's getting ready to become extinct here pretty soon. Okay, I don't remember a team with this many first-year guys that scores consistently the way this team does. My teams. Defending is what we have to grow. We build our team through our defense. It's talent determines individual offensive numbers. Team defense determines unselfishness and team commitment to one another. That's what we preach. We started the game with our feelings hurt. And we were playing hard, but with no spirit, no voices. That little extra oomph wasn't there. As the half progressed, I thought our defense got better. And that's all I spoke about. Because if you don't defend them, they're going to score 100. I mean, if I had a vote today, I'm voting for Bishop for Player of the Year. You know, Max Edwards is the returning Rookie of the Year in the league. The transfer from Virginia Tech, that dude is a load. Like, they're good, you know. It's so we had to defend. By the way, on that same topic, Keon Thompson, he took on that Bishop matchup. I don't know if you guys' memory, my memory, one thing I tell players all the time, I said, not only have I gotten older, do I look like an elephant, but I've got the memory of an elephant. And last year, we had no chance, and Keon was playing, Garden Bishop, 0. Keon took that on today. It don't mean that Bishop was 2 for 14 because of Keon, but Keon took that challenge on today. And, you know, God bless him for his willingness to help us grow this program.
Yeah, Coach, no minutes from Marquis today, even on the stretch where you kind of emptied your bench. Was there a reason for that?
I get a kick. So early in the year, I got to answer why I play so many guys. Now I've got to answer why I didn't play more guys. It's, I don't know. I make decisions to win games. Marquis is my guy. I'm into celebrating our team, not into explaining why individuals play and don't play. And I don't mean to be rude to your question, I made decisions today for us to win today. And the guys who were playing well, and I rode with them. But, so do me a favor, because I know you work, like the rest of you guys in here. Don't ask me next year why I'm playing so many people. Don't ask me that one.
Coach, you guys are staying at home to end this 2-game homestand. You guys have St. Joe's coming in on Tuesday, and St. Joe's has kind of been not consistent really during conference play. What are you really trying to take away from today's game and bring into Tuesday night's game against a somewhat struggling St. Joe's team?
You're always trying to grow, but I can tell you what league play doesn't allow you to do is over-celebrate a good day or pout on a bad day. It's 18 heavyweight rounds. In this league, with the coaches we got in this league, like, you know, I haven't studied St. Joe's, but I know their guards from last year. Their 2 guards are really good. They're all, excuse me, they're 3 guards, Lynn Greer, Reynolds, and Brown. Those guys are a problem. I don't know if struggling's the word I use. I'd rather celebrate the league than say they're struggling, because if you look at what they did in non-conference play, they're a pretty good team. But the problem is that you're in league play now. It's hard. So I'd rather celebrate the depth of the Atlantic 10, that a really good team. I believe after non-conference play, they were a top 25 team. Right in there. If they weren't top 25, they were right on the cusp of being a top 25 team. Now they're in league play. This league's really hard. Really, really hard. And I don't know if they're struggling. I'll give you a better answer if we do a press conference before the game, which I don't know. But I'll almost start studying them. As soon as we're done, I got to go home and study them. That's my job. I got one of my assistants that's already prepped on them. He coaches me up, then I study them, and then I'll have a better opinion of as to how they're playing. It's 18 hard games. Like you know, this league has no bottom. It's like, you know, like everywhere else, society, life, neighborhoods. You got this, very few. You got a whole lot in the middle, and then you got the unfortunate bottom. Okay, it's the same way in most leagues. This league, it's like all crunched in, which makes every play, every game really, really, really hard. And we have to be prepared. What I hope we take from this game, that to finalize the answer, is confidence that we're good enough to win every game, but at the same time, we got to comprehend that if we don't play a certain way, we're good enough to lose games too.
Going into this game, how did the team plan on stopping James or containing James Bishop? He's a dynamic guard in the A10.
Pray a lot. I tell you, that's what I did. It's Brett Nelson had the scout, and Brett and I spent time talking, like on the plane right after the Loyola game. I'm not very good as soon as the game ends, win or lose. I need to decompress a little bit, and because I reflect on every decision I make. Not win or lose, that to me is irrelevant. I reflect on every decision I make through games, because my job is to impact winning, not impact the other side. But as soon as I was decompressed and whatever, and I don't sleep well after games. Brett had his spreadsheet that the assistants give me. And he knew I wasn't in the mood for a conversation, but he gave me the spreadsheet. So when I got home, I started studying it. And then I came in the next morning, we had a great meeting. He gave me ideas. I gave him ideas. The bottom line, when you play somebody like Bishop, the initial defender has to be really disciplined and tough as nails and not get his feelings hurt, because Bishop is going to make shots. I thought Keon created that personality today. And then our ball screen, you guys probably hear me where you're sitting at, because I know my mom hears me through the TV sometimes. Our ball screen defense, that's been a challenge all year for us. And we went into the game with a certain call, and Josh kept calling the opposite. And I'm like, Josh, what are you doing, man? It's like we went in with one call. We're going to make one call, and you're calling everything but that. But the one thing Josh did, he got to the level of the ball on his ball screen. So we never let Bishop get downhill easy. So then we were able, we talked about building a wall to keep him and number 3, I keep forgetting his name, because they run so much stuff to get them up top. We spoke about anytime they ball screen, build a wall so they can't get downhill, make them play sideways. That I thought we did really well. But Keon was really good. We play them again, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to pray really hard, because I know Bishop. I remember we played Anthony Edwards. I was in South Carolina. We played him at Georgia, and we just overwhelmed him. He's a freshman. And he had a game like Bishop had today. Well, when they came back to our place later on, holy cow. I was like, can somebody please get him to miss one shot? Somehow we survived and won that game, but he was ridiculous. Just a thought, because I thought we played him again, and he's too good a player. We'll deal with that one when the time comes.
Last one right here.
Didn't seem like anybody really wanted to give an inch in the first half. Obviously, it was tied at the end of the first half. What made the first half so tough?
They're good. They're 14-3. They're good. They got a high-powered offensive team. I mean, going into the game, we were trying to get into their bench. And I think that kind of happened because Chris doesn't play a lot of guys. And I think we got into the bench a little bit, and when that happened, that helped us. Obviously, without watching, I haven't even looked at the minutes, but I'll study that a little bit here tonight to see if, we lived up. That was part of the plan. They're good. I mean, the fact that we were able to pop it open the way we did in the second half is it's a credit to us, not a knock on them. They were a confident team that was playing really well and has won 14 games. And the way the schedule broke, they were a rested team. Now, I don't know. I don't coach Chris's team, so I don't know if they were too rested and they were a little lethargic. I got no idea. That's a great thing about being at UMass is when the teams that are south of us come up here and we had these great winter storms and we have snow everywhere and the temperature's below 10, guys from down there don't like that too much. They talk negatively about that. Well, we take pride in that. That's it's like I remember being a kid, people used to speak about the Dolphins won every Sunday because they play at 1 o'clock in September and October, and the teams from the north will come down and they just melt in that sun. Well, with us, hopefully, if we create a personality as a program, maybe we can do the opposite, and maybe we can have snowstorms every single week and keep this temperature at 10 degrees and get all them folks to come up and not like that whole feel.
Thanks, everyone.
Can I ask one more question? Real quick. Coach, you guys had 22 out of your 31 points in the paint in the first half. Was that by design?
Yeah.
Get done well?
Yeah, that's who we are. That's who we are. And we've been trying, without Matt, we've been trying to stay consistent there, not be a one-man band with Josh. We needed other guys scoring in the paint. I thought Daniel gave us some good stuff today. Daniel's like a freshman, man, and he's trying to, like Rasul went through last year. He got to us, and self-inflicted wounds caused him to not do well last year where he was at. He's trying to regain the spirit that every good player has to have, and he's worked really hard. Now all of a sudden Matt's gone, so it's like, yo, Dan, you got to play You were playing here, we need you to play here now. That's real easy to say, it's real hard to do, especially with a young player. He was part of that personality in the second half. He grew as the game went on. And so that gives us, we got to keep playing on the inside. That's what we preach, that's what we need to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.